Welcome to enVisioning Success, the weekly podcast that's your prescription for business clarity. In today's episode, we're chatting about being straightforward and assertive in sales and marketing. Join your hosts, Laura DiBenedetto and Julia Becker Collins, as they navigate the fine line between assertiveness and aggression, and the importance of open, honest conversations with clients.
Hey, I feel like Krusty the Clown. What's up? I'm Laura DiBenedetto. I'm joined by Julia Becker Collins. We're here to burn your ear off about marketing and sales again, trying to help you make money and have fun while you do it. So today we're going to be talking about being politely confrontational and stopping the game so you can sell with authenticity.
Authenticity. Sound it out.
If polysyllabic.
I know. It's not good.
Oh gosh, you were saying something great in the green room about how salespeople tend to be just like straight up aggressive, not really assertive. Why don't we start with that? Julia, tell them what they've won.
So a conversation that Laura and I've had over the years, many years, is the difference between assertive and aggressive. And, you know, this can come up with staff that don't understand how to be assertive with clients rather than being completely passive. But it definitely comes up in the sales process because, unfortunately, a lot of people are in sales and don't know how to sell consultatively. They don't know how to sell without showcasing features and benefits. They don't know how to have real open and honest conversations with people and be a helper rather than just trying to close the deal. And assertive is what Laura and I try to be, because we will introduce a conversation, we will tell truth to power, we will push back politely against somebody. I have an email in my queue right now to go out that says, I appreciate your feelings about this. However, that is not the case. So I'm acknowledging some
italic.
There's some bold, there's some italic. But, you know, I could be approaching that situation and being aggressive and, you know, flipping the bird to this person and dropping some F-bombs and lots of exclamation points, but that's not going to get me to where I want to be. Being aggressive is incredibly short-sighted, whether it is aggressive in the traditional stance of, you know, F-bombs, etc., or being, you know, for lack of a better term, too pushy, which is what people think about when they think about sales, because they think about that used car salesman who's trying to push them into buying the lemon. When you're assertive, you're asking follow-up questions. You're not just believing what the person is telling you. Last time we talked about the power of no, and Laura did a great job talking about how she uses no in the sales process, how that can open up a new relationship, asking for feedback, and or saying, hey, you know what? I think you're lying to me right now, but saying it in a really loving way where you're opening the door for the person to tell you the truth. And that is assertive. Aggressive is not welcoming, not fun and inviting, and is really, unfortunately, what happens when somebody goes from being not assertive or being passive aggressive. Oftentimes they go straight to being aggressive, and that really turns the sales prospect or the client off. They don't want to have that relationship with you.
It's always fun watching someone who is super passive attempt to be assertive, and they blow way past assertive, and they just show up like using their big voice and like really aggressive. It's like, whoa, overcorrected. Whoa.
Right.
Get down. You're at a 10. We need you at a 7. Holy moly.
You're driving 80 and a 25. I need you to drive 35. Really.
Oh my God. So the takeaways for this episode that we really want you to get is the importance of being straightforward and assertive, which is why I asked Julia to talk about that to start with. Aggressive, trust me, it has its moments in life, but in the sales conversation, you don't want to be passive. You're going to get walked on. You don't want to be aggressive. They're going to get walked on. Assertive is great. We're going to hopefully give you some great techniques for tactfully addressing and redirecting unproductive client behaviors. Oh boy, that's going to be a humdinger. And then the long-term benefits of maintaining authenticity and respect in challenging sales situations.
Oof, that is a packed episode. Let's buckle up.
Diddly doodly.
Okie dokily. I know we talked about this last time, but Laura, for our listeners, can you please refresh everybody's memory of what does it mean to be quote unquote politely confrontational in a sales context? I know this is a Laura DiBenedetto trademark term.
It is. Being politely confrontational is helping people to get what they really want, and not letting them lie to themselves or you. And it doesn't mean you need to be aggressive in confronting someone's dishonesty or evasive behavior, but just addressing it and making people feel safe so they can answer you and provide you with truth. A lot of times when people are not being honest with you, it's not because they're trying to be a jerk or whatever. They're just afraid. So it's like a little kid that just lied to you. Did you eat all the candy? No. Yeah, you did. They're lying to you because they're afraid. So if you can make your prospect feel confident and safe with you to tell you what's really going on, or no, they don't want to think it over, they just don't like it or whatever, well, that's great. That means you're being politely confrontational. Politely confrontational is not supposed to be something where it's a big confrontation. It's just, I think you just said something that we need to dive into a little bit more. Oh, you want to think it over? Okay, I think I just heard, I think that was French for no. Could we dive into this? Like, you can make it safe for someone to be honest with you, and that's really what that is.
Agreed. And I think the other part of that is it's not only not taking them necessarily at their word, but it's also asking follow-up questions to make sure that you're on the same page. I had this conversation with one of my staff where they said, well, the client said A, B, and C. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Either the client is deeply confused, which is, entirely possible, or they're lying to you because they don't want to tell you what's going on. So it's time to push back very politely and say, I hear what you're saying. Let me just reiterate it back to you so that I can confirm we're on the same page. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Or it's saying, usually when people say that to me, what they really mean is I'm canceling my contract, except you don't want to say that. So why don't we have that conversation? You're not going to hurt my feelings. I want to know what I could be doing better for you. How can I support you? Can I refer you to somebody else?
I'm just laughing because my favorite, though, is, over the years, hello, we've been in business for 25 years. We've lost clients over the years. Of course we have. My favorite, though, is out of the blue. Nothing's wrong, I swear to God, but can I have a copy of my contract? Okay. I don't know what you're doing. Why don't you just say you're not happy with something? It's so easy. Because then I could, I don't know, actually make you happy. Right.
I've gotten can you just remind me when my contract's up? That is code for I'm leaving.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay. You're not going to be a fit for everybody. Like, we do keep our clients for years and years, but we don't have 100% success rate. And by the way, nobody does. So
correct.
No hate from the peanut gallery.
Absolutely not. I'd rather have you just tell me what's going on rather than sneak out in the middle of the night, which is a whole other topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do you, Laura, maintain a balance between assertiveness and respect in the sales process and in discussions?
I think for me, it comes from an authentic place inside of me where I genuinely seek to serve people. So being respectful and assertive, to me, they're the same.
Mm.
And it comes from my core values of just having integrity and really wishing more than anything else to serve. So if I'm getting, I don't know, just weird behavior, maybe I'm not being respected, I have the choice to respond not respectfully, but I always have the choice and the power to just be myself and really just seek to help. And it's like, in the sales process and the client service process, and when they're getting onboarded or when they've been with us for like 15 years, being able to care for people first, because we've said this how many times? People buy from people. They don't buy from companies. When we take care of our people, be they staff, be they clients, be they partners, when we take care of people and put people first, that's when assertiveness and respect, they're just part of the same ethos, I guess, and just way of being. I think it's the same for you because you're pretty damn consistent.
Yes, I would agree. I think we have said this in the past that truth is kind, and that's a two-way street. That's, my client or my prospect telling me the truth. I want to know it. My client telling me the truth. I want to know it. My staff person telling me the truth. I want to know it. And then the same back to them, saying to them, hey, I don't think A, B, and C is in your best interest, or can you tell me more about why you're deciding to go in another direction? Or, rather than just leaving it open-ended, let's put a meeting on the calendar right now. So it's, rather than taking a back seat to the relationship, you're sitting in the front seat and helping to drive. I feel like this metaphor has been used with us over and over again.
Are you envisioning the driver's ed car?
Oh boy. Oh, but
I didn't say this was going to be a mature show.
No,
it was going to be a smart show filled with stupid kid humor and dad jokes.
It's fair. That really is us. Like we've been saying, selling with authenticity. This is us. Mm-hmm. And I think that
what you see is what you get, or what you hear is what you get. Like, we don't change. You could know us for 5 minutes from one episode, or 5 years. We're the same people.
And, that assertiveness, it definitely is something that you can teach to people in your sales team, mm-hmm. and on your client service team, and all the different layers you have. But finding somebody that is inherently good at it is, while it's difficult, it's also really helpful, because mm-hmm. it lends authenticity to the sales process and the marketing process. Like with us, Laura and I are both assertive in our everyday personal lives. And so it translates over really easily for us. It's not an act we have to put on. I'm not, putting on my vision hat and being assertive today and then going home and not being. When you're vetting salespeople or anybody that's external facing, it can be incredibly helpful to see, are they assertive and are they capable of being assertive?
Yeah, amen to that. How we do one thing is how we do everything. I mean, there's a million bumper sticker phrases that we could give you right now, but it's so true. I wrote a book for anyone listening who hasn't been aware of that. I wrote a book, and it's in the personal development space. And one of the things is I studied why people do the weird stuff they do. So I studied humans, and we're definitely an odd lot. The thing that has always been part of my leadership style, I like the warm and fuzzy, I like the feelings, but I like to cultivate confidence in the people that I am privileged to have on my staff. I like to spend time with them, know who they are as people, and see which areas I can help to foster, I guess, and help them shine. If maybe there's some areas that they're insecure in, well, let's talk about it. Like we have someone on our staff who said, and I quote, "I'm allergic to conversations about money." Okay, can I serve you and support you in this so you don't have such an anaphylactic shock when the subject comes up? So we had a great conversation, and the conversation was very supportive. It's like, well, where did this belief system come from? Why is this so scary for you? And the conversation was honestly, I think, pretty useful, because it was like, oh, I actually never thought about a lot of this stuff before. It's probably good to just tease it out. Yeah, so I think, Julia, you're really good at having hard conversations of one nature with the team. I'm good at having a different level of hard conversation. But in my case, it's, I like talking about the things that are more personal, for the personal development, because that is actually part of professional development, because you're the whole human that shows up to do the role.
Agreed. If you follow us on LinkedIn, we talk about that a lot, especially that I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life integration, because, again, you are a whole human being, so it all needs to work together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love all of that. I want to get the shirt, the hat, the keychain, and the tote bag.
There you go.
Yes. So I have some questions for you. How do you approach situations where prospects try to control the sales process?
Oh, yes. This is a thing that happens often. Whether it could be that they're saying, well, I don't need to go through all that. I just need a quote on, 3 Facebook posts a week. And that is a clear indicator to me that they want an order taker, not a service provider. So that's helpful in the vetting process for our clients. But that's the point at which, as we've been saying, I am politely confrontational, whether it's phone call, email, etc. And I could say, I hear what you're saying and I'm excited to learn more about your business. However, I do want to get on the phone with you so that I can make sure we're a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And if they decide to schedule that call, then that's great. Then they could be a good fit for us. But if they're not interested in doing so, then they're not a good fit for us and we're not a good fit for them. And as I always say, you can't be everything to everyone. You don't want to serve everyone. So maybe that's not a good fit for you. So, figuring out how to maneuver the conversation in a way that's going to serve you, the service provider, and the prospect is definitely an art, not a science, but trying to get them into the right place for your services and your brand and your culture is a really important tactic to know how to use so that you can determine, are they pre-qualified? Are they a good fit for you? Are they willing to take your direction, etc.? And I've definitely had instances where the person will say, oh, okay, that's great. Oh, I didn't think about doing A, B, and C. That's a fantastic idea. I was just told I should be on Facebook, but you're telling me all these other things. And then that conversation helps to lead to them realizing that you do really actually know what you're talking about. And you're not a 22-year-old who decided to open her first agency because she has a Facebook page of her own. Listen,
Just a little bit of shade thrown at the kids.
I'm okay with that.
The youngins.
Come be assertive with me.
That's funny. You're just reminding me of all those times where I've had a lot of people be like, oh, can you just send me a proposal? And my answer is always no.
No.
They're like, well, why? Because if you're really interested, then you and I will co-create the right solution for you. And if you're not really interested and you just want me to go away, just say it, man. It's cool. You don't have to like my face, my shirt, my voice, my services, nothing. You get to say no.
Right. Or if you just want the proposal because you want to know how much something costs, you should just ask that.
Yeah. Hey, I've got this other company that I want to work with. Can you just look this over and tell me if I'm paying too much? Sure. No problem. Like, just ask for what you really want.
Right.
So, speaking of which, what are some key signs that your prospect is not engaging authentically in the sales process? Ding, 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 ding. Does that
so many signs. So many signs. Where do I begin? Well, one would be when they just yes you to death and they agree with everything you're saying because, as we have said, I am a strong personality, so ain't nobody agreeing with everything I got to say, which is fine. I would enjoy a little polite confrontational pushback. That's a delightful, relationship for me. But also you shouldn't just be like, yeah, I agree with all of that. You should have at least follow-up questions. If you're not coming to the table with any thoughtful questions, you're not engaging at all, let alone authentically in that conversation whatsoever. You're just looking for a piece of information I haven't told you yet, and you don't want to tell me what piece of information you're looking for. Another part could be that they are passing the buck. Oh, okay, well, I have to talk to Jim and Sue and Bob before I can make a decision. Okay, well, you told me that you were the decision maker. So either you didn't tell me the correct thing or you just don't want to tell me what's happening at this point. I know. Or
I'm just like inwardly laughing because it's like I'm listening to been there, done that.
Yes. Or they're not really answering my questions. They're just, participating in a phone call because they think it'll get them, like I said, a piece of information I haven't told them yet, rather than just coming right out and saying what you're looking for. Mm. Or they say their budget is significantly larger than what it turns out to be. So if I
How
say,
can you tell ahead of time?
well, so,
Like, how
part
do you
of the,
spot this sneaky behavior?
I think part of the pre-qualification process is having those big conversations about money early and often. And you and I talk about this, and we talk about it with the team, and I talk about it with clients that I help do consulting with, that you want to have the big scary conversation early. This has been great, Jim, talking to you. I'd love to talk to you about budget. What are you thinking you're going to invest in marketing for ABC Worldwide Insurance? It doesn't have to be a hard number, but I really want to make sure we're on the same page and that I build you the correct plan. And if they say, well, I'm looking to invest $100,000 next year, great. Let me build that out for you. Fantastic. And then I present it, and it turns out it's a $25,000 budget, not a $100,000 budget. Something's not connecting here. Or they say something along the lines of, like, I actually, and this is so common, I'm sure anybody in sales has heard this, especially if you're selling services. Well, I don't really know how much it costs, so why don't you tell me how much it costs? And then I can determine if it's in my budget. I feel like I could have that playing on a record in my brain for the next 20 years because I've heard it so many times. And then you say, okay, great. Well, based on your goals and who you're trying to reach and everything I would recommend for you, it's going to, cost X amount of dollars. And similar businesses to yours invest that much regularly with us. And that is a really comfortable place for us to feel like we can be successful for you. Oh, well, that is a lot more than I thought I was going to be spending. Okay, well, then you did have an amount of money in your head.
Right.
Sounds like you may have been lying to me somewhere.
Yeah, or lying to
there.
themselves, really. I think, again, I keep saying this over and over. There's so much fear built into buying something like this because the folks on the other end don't know how to do it. And, there's no malice, but there's definitely a lot of dishonesty and hiding. My favorite ones are always around the budget conversations and, what range are you looking to invest? Again, we could really play this one on repeat. I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Actually, why don't you tell me? Is $100 too much for you? Is 250,000 chump change? Like, I need to have a sense of what a lot is to you and what your relationship with money is. Like, are you an emotional hot mess about money? Is several $1,000s a month like nothing to you? Or is it life-changing? Like, we need to have a sense of what's going on. And this is circling back to the whole politely confrontational thing. When people ask you these questions, you can kind of tell people get a little squirrely around money. That's a whole other thing. Not today. We don't have enough time, but people get really squirrely around money. You can almost always tell that people are going to get weird and be a little evasive. So that's where you can always challenge almost every answer and just be like, oh, you don't know. Great. You don't know what? Oh, well, I was thinking, I don't want to invest too much. What does too much mean? Like, ask qualifying questions. Be like, great. Whatever you just said, can you say more, please? Like,
absolutely. One of the things I say, and I think I got this from you, Laura, is that I say, whatever your answer is, it's a great answer. There is no incorrect answer. I'm not trying to play financial chicken with you so that you give me the correct answer or we bump into each other. Right? And I find that adding a layer of humor to a conversation that often has big feelings is really helpful. And again, this goes back to the trust and authenticity that we've been talking about this month. When you have consistent, open, honest, authentic conversations at every point in the sales process and the marketing process and the client relationship process, it is so much easier to have these big conversations about money and to have people understand that you really do have their best interests at heart. And if they say, well, you know what, for us, we really can't be over $3,000 a month. Okay, that's great for me to know. Let me build you a plan that does not breach that budget.
Yeah, I mean, honesty is great, but this really goes back to everything that we've been saying over the last month in these 4 episodes where we're talking about having these great high integrity conversations to have your messaging consistent and whatever. And it's 2 things: trust and relationships. That's what it's all about. When we think about what marketing is for, it's to help build and start the relationship. what sales is for. It's not something you do to someone. It's something you do with and for someone. And if you're doing it right, then you're cultivating trust and safety and building a nice relationship. So in just one or two sentences, Julia, just put a bow on this for me. I really want to hear, what are some of the benefits of being super straightforward?
One of the benefits of being super straightforward is maintaining long-term relationships and trust with your clients. And another part of being super straightforward is that they know they can count on you to tell them the truth, even if it doesn't benefit you as the service provider specifically.
Amen to that. Well, this is great. You know, this whole month has been about the relationships and the trust. And we've covered quite a bit about selling with integrity, and that beginning the process with that, you know, really kind of sets the stage, how to have consistency in your messaging, how to make it all about your avatar. Again, if you haven't listened to those episodes, go back. You're going to want to get that, using the power of no. And then today we're talking about being politely confrontational. You know, it's really important to me that people feel empowered to understand, deeply love, and serve their avatar in such a hyper-specific way, not just with marketing, not just with sales, but also through your operations and everything that you do. Your entire business needs to be built around your avatar, everything that you do. And this is simply part of that. And I'm hoping that if you've been with us for the last month, you've experienced the truth of what I'm saying to you in that.
Agreed.
So all that in mind, join us next week / next month. We're going to be diving into a whole new topic. I don't even know what it is yet. I guess we'll find out when we get there. It's going to be great, I promise, because we always have fun here. This is such a fun opportunity for me to bond with Julia, hang out with you, tell stupid jokes, and laugh about dumb stuff. I'm here for it. So thank you, Julia, for being an awesome co-host, and thank you to myself for being awesome. And also, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Otherwise, why would we do this? This whole show is for you, and we're grateful that you're here. Hit us up at vision-advertising.com. We want your questions. We want your feedback. If you think we said too many times in this damn episode, let us know. If you're running the counter, cool. We joked about getting little electrical shock nodes or whatever yeah, that's gonna happen. We got to do that. So good times. If you need some help with your own marketing, we'll always help you. If you want to know if you're just paying too much, you can just ask and we'll just answer you. It's really that simple. So you can ask us anything you like. Thanks again for being here with us. Find us on social media if you want. We're always here for you. Thank you. This is enVisioning Success. We will see you next time.